Good morning, guys. Thank you so much for being here. And you are onto the Civilized Presence. You are in the right place at the right time. And trust me, we have the right message for you this morning. I am so excited to be working with Jessica this morning. And Jessica is from Manitoba, Canada. So I'm so excited. Welcome, Jessica.
Thank you.
It's so good to have you in the house.
I'm very honored to be here as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. I can see people jumping in, guys, but if you're not directly on my personal Facebook page, I might not be able to see your name right away, but I want you to know that you mean so much to me for making out time to be here with us at 8:35 a.m. Eastern Time. That's a commitment. Thank you. Thank you so much. So if this is your very first time, this is Civilized Presence, and we are here. Yes, Canada is in the house. Morel is originally from Canada, Montreal, Canada, but she's away right now in the UK, so she's excited to see someone from Canada. Yes, so we are right here at the Civilized Presence, and if this is your very first time, we're here every Mondays and Fridays at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So we're right on time because Jessica is in the house. Jessica is always on time, and so I had to be here on time. Yes. So if you've never seen us before, it's your very first time, you can have access to us by following my Facebook business page, and that's So Unique Experts. And I'm also on Instagram on So Unique Experts, or you can join my public figure page, Louisa Arcaizo, pretty easy. And you will have access to all of the great content that we've been sharing. Guys, it's important for you to know that we started this gig in April 26th to be very precise, and it has been fun. We've been paddling along and we've shared so much. And today is session number 42. Yes,
Wow.
I am so excited. I am grateful to God. Yes, if you I'm a person of faith, so sorry if I have to say that, but I am so grateful. That is my core that we've come this far. Because for those of you who know me, that was like jumping out of my comfort zone, trust me. But I had to get this done, and I am excited that I did this. So I really do appreciate you for always being here with me, even if it's your very first time that you're here in a live session. Thank you. And if you're going to join us on replay, I appreciate you all the same. The only thing that I require of you is that you comment in the box below, hashtag replay. And you know what? You can leave your questions at any time, your comments at any time, and I will always come back to respond to them. So, if you've never ever met me before, you've never listened to me, you don't know who I am, my name is Louisa Akaizo, and I am a certified master civility trainer. I'm a Golden Rule statesman and a leadership expert. And you're asking, what does she do? I work confidently with leaders and professionals that place great importance in themselves and their reputation. And that's going to be you this morning because you made out time to be here. Now, yes, we're talking about reputation today. We are. And we're getting to that very soon. Now, for this month, we have been focusing on entrepreneurship and civility. So we've done so much work. If this is your very first time on the show, trust me, there's so much that you have to learn. And we have all of the videos. If you cannot watch it on my page, you can just go on my YouTube channel. It's Louisa Arcaizo. And just go and like me there. Show me some love over there, okay? And you would find all of the videos that we have been sharing. Now, before we continue, I'm just going to let you know what the definition of civility is. Just before that, now, the main goal of this Facebook series, the reason why we got this started, was really to help restore civility in our community, in our society, and we've been doing that through meaningful conversations like the one that we're having this morning. So really nothing technical, but we're just having fun with it. But trust me, there's some very good contents that you would learn every time that you hang out with us. Okay, so what we do is like really break it down into tiny little bits and get you to see how easy and important it is for you to be civil. And if you've never been civil before in your life, that's okay. You're in the right place and you can get started today. It's as simple as saying, please and thank you. Good morning. Or even share a compliment, just like I'm going to do to Jessica right now. Jessica, you look so beautiful this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. So you see how easy it is? It's all about being responsible for easing the experience of the person next to you. So just for the purpose of this session, some of you might be asking, I've never heard about civility before. Now I'm going to share with you our definition of civility, and I always choose the one from Civility Experts, which I'm an affiliate with. And that is that civility is a conscious awareness of the impact of one's thoughts, actions, words, and intentions on others, combined with a continuous acknowledgement of one's responsibility to ease the experience of others. Example, true restraint, kindness, non-judgment, respect, and courtesy, and a consistent effort to adopt and exhibit civil behavior as a non-negotiable point of one's character. So you're sitting there saying, Louisa, that's a lot. Yes, it is. But if you are on this show or you're watching this on replay, I want you to remember certain things that are very important. Civility is focused on positive people's treatment. Okay? Paying attention to the person next to you. Apologize earnestly if you have to, and refrain from idle complaints. So, positive people's treatment. Take that away from the session. That's okay. You don't have to remember the long definition. But if you're interested, I would be happy to share it with you. Just drop a message and I would forward that to you. We take pride in sharing what we have because it is the very best. So guys, back to the show. I am going to introduce to you our guest for today. Thank you so much, Morel from London, UK. I am so excited that you are here. It feels so good. Yes, Jessica is back in the house with great contents. I know that you remember Jessica very well with her book, Believability. And yes, guys, I'm going to leave the link of that book again today. If you're interested and would like to know who is Jessica, she has this amazing book that you can read over and over again. Every time you think you're falling off the track, go back and read it. There's always something to gain. There's so much, contents in there. And Jessica, I want to say thank you so much for the work that you have put into that book. I really love it. And I take pride in sharing that book to anyone who needs it. Thank you so much, Jessica.
Thank you so much, Louise. I really appreciate that. And again, it is an honor to be back on your show. I really appreciate that because it shows that I always worry about giving value and a lot of value, and thank you for acknowledging that. So I want to give you a compliment as well, and it's very, very heartfelt. And Morel, thank you so much for your compliments and your comments on the board. I asked Louisa not to share the comments as they come up because I find them distracting and I want to be present for you, but I do see some comments that come up on the screen, so I can't help that. But so I just wanted to say thank you.
Yes, in fact we have over 50 comments, but I'm just taking it easy.
No, don't share them. I'll read them after.
Yeah, I won't. I will only send something that's going to make us feel good today.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you so much, Morel, and thank you, Leona. Let me know where you're joining us from. Thank you. You're welcome to the Civilized Presence. So let me introduce to you our guest for today. She is very special to me, and her name is Jessica LaRusso. Jessica is a civility expert par excellence. Yes, she is a practitioner of civility, and I can testify to that. She is a best-selling author, a serial entrepreneur with over 20 plus years experience in building several $1 million businesses. So if you think that you want to be a millionaire at some point in your life, you're in the right place. She is also a master certified civility trainer.
Yes, I'm proud.
Yes, she has served as the president with the ALS Society in Canada and was honored with the Manitoba Women Entrepreneur of the Year award for 3 consecutive years. So guys, there could be nobody better than Jessica to be talking about credibility with civility. So Thank you so much, Jessica. And I'm just going to give you a chance to say hello to the audience.
Hello, everybody. So when Louisa and I spoke last week regarding the show and what we wanted to talk about, I really wanted to, I had already spoken about Be Believable and having a credible business, etc., and what things that you can do. But what I really want people to focus on today and get a message, and of course I wrote out all my notes because I want to make sure that I give you the information plus a plan for yourself, a takeaway. So of course I'm going to refer back to my notes, so I do apologize, but I want to make sure that you get the information. Louisa and I talked about reputation and the CEO's reputation, to be exact, and how the CEO's reputation has an impact on the company's or your company's market share, whether you're a solopreneur or whether you have a very, very large corporation. So for example, when the business that I had just sold previous, and I'm sorry about the hands, Louisa, I'm just watching myself speak and I'm going, oh my God.
No problem.
So anyways, I had 22 staff and I had to carve out a whole platform for them and how the perceptions happened, not only for myself, but also for my staff as well, including the leadership team that I had within that business. So when I look at people, just whether they're solopreneurs, Army of One type people, or entrepreneurs, I can say, professionals, meaning that they may not be entrepreneurs, but they have a position within an organization, whether that's for profit or not for profit, because that's very important as well, or they are the commander in chief of a whole army of individuals in a larger corporation. So I wanted to really talk about your market share in your industry, but also what is your market share that you bring to your industry, and that comes down to reputation. So when I started to do research and really look for really cold hard facts, because we can just automatically come from the ether and say, you know, your reputation matters. But really, when you don't bring an understanding of how that matters, it really means nothing. So when people look at, excuse me, credibility and confidence and even nonverbal body language and presence in their behavior, some people pay no mind, if I can say that. But really, if you look at statistics, the Harvard University study that says, you know, your financial success and your success in your professional life is due to your social skills or interpersonal skills, 85%, and only 15% is your technical skills, the stuff that you learned on the job. You can see how important it is to really look and streamline and focus your light on who you are and what you bring to an organization, not just in skills, but in who you are, how you communicate, how you behave. And it comes down to, when we talk about Be Believable, it comes down to your credibility. It's what those perceptions are. Either, and I tell people, you have to remember, either you're going to devise your communication strategy, whether that communication strategy is talking, whether that communication strategy is the way you behave, or even the way you stand and communicate non-verbally. Either you're setting that communication strategy, or someone else is setting that communication strategy for you. And usually when they're setting it for you, it's bad, bad, bad. It's really negative, and you don't want that to happen. But what I find is a lot of individuals just letting that happen willy-nilly, if I can say that, funny little word for today, that's your word, willy-nilly, and then just really ruining what they're doing in their lives, in their businesses. And I see it all the time, and I really have a heart for them, but people really need to be open to that. And I'm sorry I'm not letting you interject. I'm gonna get my point across. And a lot of it stems from pride and ego. People don't want to be wrong. But if people really just open their hearts, or individuals open their hearts and allow the learning and education to come in, they can be so much better in their personal lives, their professional lives, their career, and just helping society as a whole. And it's just so amazing when people really, really like to do that. It's just amazing what happens. So there's the preamble to, I'm going to tell you that your reputation is almost half of your market share of your company.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm going to say that one more time. Your reputation is almost half of your market share in your organization. Now, this stat, 48% comes from Weber and Shandwick. So look up that report. So if you can put that on the screen, the CEO's reputation, studies have been done by Weber and Shandwick on how you, and I'm pointing at you, affect your company, and you are the prime driver of how successful your company is. Because if you look at previous years, a lot of executives, so C-suite, so if you have a salon, for example, you'd have your director or owner, and then you have your leadership team underneath. That leadership team as well is just as important as the CEO. So depending on your industry, your leaders or executive team, still very powerful to your market share. And if you're not managing it, you're just giving it away. So when you look at how executives, if I can say executives or CEOs or just solopreneurs behave, you cannot hide behind your desk anymore. You cannot hide behind your desk anymore. 10, 15 years ago, you could not engage in people or with people. You could just ask somebody on your team to deal with something. Now, you cannot do that at all. In fact, if you want people to buy your products and services, you need to be right there communicating your great message. And you need to be communicating your why, your mission, your intention, and how you're going to help those clients or your audience. Because there are some industries where they don't have an audience. Maybe they're kind of a third party, but really they have to have a good message across every kind of media. And when we look at social media, in fact, the studies show that you still have to have visibility and a presence, but it's not that impactful to the bigger equation. So social media, very important. And I know that we've been focusing on social media for a very long time.
Yes,
we do need to.
In that.
Well, there's so much technology, and technology is easy. But I tell my clients over and over and over again, please go back to old-fashioned business. And what I mean by that is make one-on-one connections, make heart-to-heart connections with people that you want to influence, if I can say that. It's not manipulative, but you have to go back to creating positive relationships with positive people treatment. If I can go back to the first sentence you said today, was positive people treatment, so that you can, I guess, carve a bigger piece of pie.
Okay, I'm going to interject you there for a minute. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Go back to the audience. Hello, David from Virginia. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Dee. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Sandra. Thank you so much. Hello, Jennifer. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Thomas. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Samuel. Hello, Charles from Ghana. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Izir from Canada. Thank you so much. Hello, Antonia from Nigeria. Thank you so much for being here. Now, guys, if I haven't mentioned your name, doesn't mean that I don't care about you. It's just that you are not directly on my page. And just please say hello and let me know that you're here. And thank you so much. I hope that you have gotten some great content here because Jessica is in the house and we're going to drop more and more and more nuggets. Now, Jessica, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I know. Now, I want the audience to understand that the reason why we did not define civility from the start of the show is because Jessica is an affiliate with Civility Experts and we all share the same definition. So just so you don't think that we are off there, and I thought I should bring that back. Jessica, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Now, my question would be, from a civility standpoint, acknowledging, appreciating, and rewarding your employees and loyal clients can make a really big difference. Please throw some light on how one's reputation should be nurtured and how this can be grown. And you can use example or stats if you want to. So if you do not have a reputation, for example, how can you nurture one or actually grow and try to have a great one? Over to you, Jessica.
Excellent. Well, I have my little notes here about how we're going to actually do that. I'm going to give you brief notes, but there's a lot more to it. But I just want to give you something that you can start working on right away. So now we have first leadership. You had said, how can I motivate my employees? But, or I should say, absolutely, and I'm going to get to that. But I'm going to say the first one, and I have a few of them, is you have to look at the market share value of your influence. You really have to look at what you are doing, what messages you're putting out, how you're structuring who you are, and focus on putting out that message. So if I look at my notes here, you need to look at what your strengths are. We always been taught many years ago, I remember, I don't want to say my age, but a long time ago, a long time, that you've got to build up on your weaknesses. But I say that's hogwash. You've got to look at your strengths and build on them. So that's the first thing you do, because a strong person is more influential. We all have our superpowers. Use them. The second thing that I want to say is your reputational equity statement. And what that is it's your message of why you are doing things. And it really communicates your intent to be of service. And right now, the buzzword is service leadership. But honestly, leadership has always been about who's your clients, and your clients as a leader is the people that are you're leading. And I know I'm pointing behind me because the leader is always first, right? Or that's how we think. But the people behind us, that is your clients, and you need to be of service to them to help them grow and do better in what they're doing. And I really think that's the basis of leadership. There's a lot. I'm going to tell you that. You need to develop your story. So more communication, so people get to know you. People want to have a relationship with people. They are so desperate for that relationship. They are so desperate to trust. They are so desperate to open up their wallets and give you money. But they want to know that when they give you their money, it's going to be in good hands. And you need to be those hands. So you need to communicate with your hands type deal. So industry advocate. What do you stand for? Have your message out there. Louisa, you are doing an excellent job as being an industry advocate because you're communicating. This is your platform to communicate and say your message, your positive message of positive people treatment. You've got to leverage. So you're going to use different platforms and stuff for your story. Also, bulk up on media. You have bulked up on media. I'm sure you've gotten a lot of media training. You look for outlets to communicate. You look for outlets to communicate your business and how great you do. Now, if you had staff, or a team that works directly under you, because everybody has a team, but a team that works under you, you would be showcasing them as well as the right people to see in your organization. Also, civility training. Again, 85% of your success is social intelligence, interpersonal skills, etc. Carefully evaluate your stance on public policy. If you notice, I do not. I may have a personal opinion of something, like I'm mad about something. There's some things that are happening in Ontario right now, and that's actually close to Morel. When she goes home to Montreal, but there are some political things that are happening in Ontario that are uncivil, because politics, everybody's fighting. But you do not see me voicing that outside. You do not see me, even though we have a stance, but I have a stance on a lot of civility issues. I really watch what kind of stance, because depending, there's two different teams. I want to stay neutral, and I'm going to suggest the same thing. Decide on venues to communicate. Remember, birds of a feather flock together, and you've got to watch which brush you're going to be painted with, really. Strong social strategy, whether that's online and offline. Your reputation drivers, so manage those perceptions of people, and you need to work with your team, your employees, to make sure that they are motivated, they're influenced, they think good of you. They need to trust you that you're going to take care of them. And lastly, remember that the CEO's humility is not a sign of weakness. I'm a very good person. I'm a very good leader. I take care of my staff or employees or team. I make sure they're looked after. But I always tell people, fall back on your professionalism, fall back on your rules, because you can be good, but you don't have to be a pushover. So there's some strategies that you can start working on right now to manage your market share in your industry. Don't give it away. Work on it now. Louisa.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Thank you so much. You've spoken a lot about trust and credibility. Now, I'm just going to go back to that, because that is something that a lot of people lack on. Trust me. And so as an entrepreneur, from what you're sharing with us, and stats has shown there's no hiding place anymore, guys. If we used to hide before, you need to come in front of the table. Now I'm going to go back to that. Can you just throw some light again about how we can establish trust and build credibility with clients? Because a lot of people must have been in business for quite a number of years.
Yes.
And have missed out and have messed up. Now they're on the show right now. How can they leave the show and begin to work and take baby steps in building back that credibility and trust again? Because, this is what I'm gathering from what you're sharing for us.
Yep.
If you have been doing business and not paying attention to your reputation, guys, you just lost. That is why your business is not growing, because your reputation is your greatest asset in the business. If this is over half of your market share, that's your greatest asset. You better fix it. So,
absolutely. So I know we're only have a little bit of time, but I want to talk about, I'm going to talk about the business overall, and then I'm going to just briefly talk about employees, because I can go, I don't want to say on for hours, but we could do a whole 3-hour topic
and of course,
on
we're
building.
Have to have another session again, because this is very important. This is very important.
So briefly, when we look at drivers of your CEO's reputation or your company's reputation, you've got to look first and foremost on all industries across the board, your products and services. And when we look at products and services, I have nice products and services, but are they? When we talk about services, is it consistent? Is it quality? Is it what they want. You've got to look at all that and so much more when we look at products and services. You just can't think, yeah, my products are great, but you got to look really into them, whether even how they're presented on the shelf. I've walked into many businesses where I've seen dust and dirt, and that you could move the product, and I have my lipstick. You move the product, and there's dust everywhere. Who wants that? Nobody, and no one's going to buy it. So that's one thing. Another thing is financial performance. People need to see you're doing well. I know that sounds funny, but people have to see that this is the place where when I spend my money, if I buy a gift certificate or if I buy a product, I can always go back. I can trust that I can go back to have help in the future. So your financial performance is extremely important to know that when I need help, those doors are open. Next is marketing and communication efforts. So how you communicate to people about your story or your promotions or your content is extremely important. Your industry as well. Different industries have different reputation. The used car sales lot, poor people, they're just making a living, but they've got this really bad reputation of being pushy, of trying to pull the wool over your eyes. And are they? No, but people have this perception of it. Whereas possibly, I was going to say a bank, but their reputation's kind of off. But it's great. I'm sorry. It's everyone's perception. Innovation. When I go into a company, things are going to change. Things are going to improve. People want to see that. The reputation, of course, or your reputation. Media reports, of course. So it's great to be in the media, but having, people say all media is great media. Well, when you're constantly being beaten up in the media, and if I can go back to that guy from, I'm trying to remember which, it was the oil spill. What is his name? Okay, Tony Hayward. That's his name. Deepwater Horizon spill. That was in the media, and that was bad, bad, bad. You know what? He needed to. We can talk about some apology tactics, but you know what? He says, and I got the quote written down just for you. There's no one who wants this thing over more than I do. I'd like my life back. And if you remember seeing that, I was with a group of people and everybody gasped. They were like, oh my God, did he just say that? You're killing the environment. And I think that particular spill was responsible for the loss of like a bunch of industries, including the sponge industry in the States. I'm not quite sure, so don't quote me on that. I have to double check. Yes. But, it lost so many industries, and he wasn't caring about the environment or anything else. He was just like, I want my life back. And it was like, ugh. So then there's even your customer service reps and your senior leaders, your executive team, their reputation as well. But when we go back to, and I know you asked me this question about employees, I wrote down some questions that you can think about, such as people whose CEO has a strong reputation and then their CEOs have a weak reputation. There's a question that comes up where it's, I trust my company's leader to do the right thing. That's another trust question. If your staff doesn't trust you, you know that you're not going to get buy-in on products and services and programs, and that boils down to you're not going to, your bottom line's going to suffer because of it. My company's leader emphasizes the importance of ethical conduct throughout the company. People want to know that they're dealing with people that they can trust. Are you ethical? Are you honest? Are you transparent? Is there a place for me? I can give you my commitment, but are you going to give me your commitment? And and I could go down through the whole list, but I know we only have a short amount of time. So I really want to focus just on that point. Louisa.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. I I don't know if you feel the same way, but I feel amazing. And thank you, Jessica, for all that you shared. And we're just going to go back to the audience. Hello, Rose. Thank you so much for joining from Virginia. Hello, Nini Gomez. Thank you so much. Hello, Cecilia. Thank you so much for joining. I'm so sorry. I mean, my viewers are sending messages and calling. Guys, get on the live show. Okay, we're right here having fun with Jessica, and you need to be here. If you do have any questions, leave it in the comment box right now. If you have any questions about CEO reputation, and I want you to know that when Jessica is talking about CEO, she's talking about you. If you're an entrepreneur and you own a business, you are a CEO. So try to shift that mindset and think about how to become that $1 million CEO and not just an entrepreneur, okay? This is why you're on this show today. So thank you so much, Jessica. And, I love what you talked about the buy-in, because John Maxwell, and I'm a John Maxwell coach and trainer, talks about the law of buy-in. And guys, your clients will first of all buy into you as the leader, as the CEO, as the owner of the business before the products. Okay. So if your reputation is quack, your products are quack. They don't really care. Okay. So, but you have a chance to fix that. We are here to serve you. Jessica is here. If you have any questions, and Jessica can be found on Facebook, Jessica LaRusso, and she has this amazing book that you should buy. It's Believability.
I don't know if you can see it.
Be believable. That's it. And I'm going to leave the link in the box below. I will encourage every entrepreneur to purchase this book. I have my copy and I can show it to you right away. I carry it with me. I love it. And, I cannot give you mine, so go and buy yours. She has really good contents, and we will bring her back on the show. And guys, this is a copy of my book. So I'm not asking you to do what I haven't done. I have done this. I have read this book, and it is done. It has so much contents. Jessica is an amazing author, and I'm looking forward to more things to come from Jessica.